Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? Hope you're all doing very, very well. Now, right now in a kilted realm, it's bright blue skies. The sun is gorgeous. And if you get yourself in a little corner where the wind can't hit you, it is like being in the tropics. It's gorgeous. I've been out there all afternoon and it basking, thrusting my flesh to the sun. It's been wonderful. A far cry from what we're about to talk about right now. Antarctica. Yes, the arsehole of the world. Yeah, right down there on the southern polar cap. And the thing is playing right now. For obvious reasons, the minute any of us think about Antarctica, we think of John Carpenter and The Thing and shape-shifting aliens and big beardy men being assimilated and guys with equally big beards wielding flamethrowers, saving the world. And being really bad losers at playing computerized chess. Anyway, folks, if you cast your mind back about 12 months, maybe a bit longer than that, I did a video about another Antarctic research outpost where a member of the crew, the research team, had succumbed to a mysterious malady, an illness, and it required a Herculean task to get there, thousands of miles, to go and get this stricken crew member back to civilization. They never once divulged what his problem was, his or her problem was. And everyone was going, it's the Thing, they found something in the ice, he's been assimilated, oh my god, whoa. And you know, in reality, that's quite a serious thing, you know. Stuck down there, isolated crew, you've got your medics there, you've got probably tons and tons of medication and all that, everything you think you're going to need from polar bear attacks and savage penguins. But this was a mysterious illness. I say mysterious because they never gave any details away about it. So anyway, this guy, gal, whoever it was, got evacuated. And I think to New Zealand, if I remember rightly, it's to New Zealand. Antarctica is huge. There's other countries and continents which are nearest to the various outposts, and many nations have outposts and research stations there, of course. So but this person got medevaced eventually, but it was in the news for a while, and it was like all the forums and all Tinternet and YouTube were full of like, it's the Thing. But I give a factual account of it whilst playing the Thing soundtrack, of course, and really bigging up the whole Thing background to it all. Anyway, that was then. We've now got something else. Yeah, right down there in a really even more isolated outpost. It's a South African outpost, a South African research team. I think they're an international research team, I think, but it's a South African run thing. Oh, see, the Thing just crops up there, doesn't it? Has a habit of doing that, you know. And at the back end of February, I mean, we're into March now, but the back end of February, they made an alarm call. This is the research outpost, which is called SAN A4. And I've seen a documentary about them building this, which was about, I don't know, 12 months ago I saw the documentary. And it's all porta cabins bolted together, a big long line of these, you know, luxury high-tech porta cabins raised on struts above the permafrost. It's built on permafrost. And there's no ice shelf there. Most bases have an ice shelf or an ice way of getting to that by skidoo, whatever, airstrips, but ships can get there. They have big ice cliffs, ice blocks, ice flows to get into, but not this one. It's built on something called, I wrote this down here, a nunatak, which is a peak of rock that actually protrudes above the surrounding ice sheet, meaning it's cut off from multiple ice-based travel routes. There you go, no shelves, that kind of thing. So they've made life even worse for themselves. But in this isolated environment where you've got a crew, when it's summertime, you have a crew of up to 80 working there. But this is the winter time now. And these guys work, I mean, I don't know how they work this whole thing out, but they can work up to 15 months, right? 15 months, and it's the winter time. But for 10 months of that, they're in total isolation. And there's the problem. Because apparently one of the crewmen, and it is a man, has gone loopy-loo. He's turned aggressive. He attacked another member of the crew, physically assaulted them. There were rumours, which are still circulating even today, because I've just checked, about a sexual assault. I don't know who the other person is. You're thinking female, but it could be male on male. Who knows? You know, a lot of things could happen down there. You know, go stir crazy and all that. Cabin fever, who knows? That's now the South African authorities who run this research base have said, oh, no, there is no sexual assault. But other sources close to the people involved in all this have said, no, there is. But hey, I'm just reporting what I've seen and read up to right now before doing this video. And the cry for help went up because everyone else was saying, listen, there is now an atmosphere of paranoia, fear, and absolute danger. This guy is off the rails. He's made threats to everybody now. He's going to kill us all, you know. So they issued a plea for help. As I've just said, it's hard to get to. What are they going to do? So the South African authorities, see if I can find what they're called. It might be on this, and I didn't write it down. I don't think it's on this somehow. It's a South African forestries and wilderness commission thing, which run this research outpost. And why are they out there then? Well, most research outposts in the Antarctic are doing geological and meteorological surveys and reports. It's such a polarized region of the world. A lot of what happens there, a lot of what happens around the rest of the world can be foretold by what happens down there, and they can see it coming. Plus, there's all things being brought up from under the ice. I know, it is the thing, isn't it? As far as we're concerned. More on that in a bit, and the similarities and connections. But there's a lot of important work being done. But because Antarctica is not owned by anybody, pretty much everybody's got a base there. Russians are there, Chinese are there, we're there, America's there, the Swedes are there. Well, not Swedish, Mac, but Norwegian. Everybody's there. The Argentinians are there. They've all got these bases in different areas doing ostensibly geological, meteorological research, environmental research. They're looking at the behaviour of animals, the wildlife and all that, and the flow of the seas, the temperatures rising, the water levels rising, the ice flows melting. They're looking at all of that, and maybe some other things too. Who knows? But anyone who wants to work in one of these places, and believe you me, I looked just recently because jobs came up in Antarctica, and this doofus who's not working right now, as you guys well know, and that redundancy package is being whittled away day by day. It's all going. So Kilt-Man's going to have to start working for a living again. And I did look, believe it or not, at jobs in Antarctica. Oh, and there's plenty. Am I qualified? Well, I've done Arctic warfare training, but I don't really think some of those skills are transferable. But actual research, meteorologist, geologist, environmentalist, no. I could count penguins all day. I could do that pretty well. And monitor killer whales. I'd love to do that, but otherwise, I'm afraid it ain't for me. I'd love to though. I'd love to go there. I really would. But anyway, the people who do go to these things, they're vetted. They've got to be physically fit. They've got an aptitude for that kind of climate. They've got to obviously be highly educated to do the job. Engineers and stuff like that. Mechanics for all the equipment and machinery out there. But most importantly, they have to be someone who can get on in an enclosed, claustrophobic environment with people 24/7 for months on end, with no distractions apart from the actual work itself. How do you do that? Now the weird thing is, I know people who've done this. Well, I don't know them really well, but I've spoken to them who've been out there and done certain particular jobs, and they've said, both of them both said the same thing. Everyone who goes out there, they're fiercely individual, and in outside life, back home, say, they're kind of loners. They're work orientated. They don't go out and socialise. They don't go partying. So that environment actually suits them, because suddenly in that enclosed environment, they're focused on their job, and the people around them are equally focused on their job. They meet for bedtime. They meet to play darts, to watch The Thing, as they always do down there. The Thing is one of those, it's a rite of passage when you go there and you go into the winter months. You put on The Thing, the original Christian Nyby black and white version, Howard Hawks, and John Carpenter's version as well. And they also watch The Shining as well. Again, snowbound, enclosed, claustrophobic environments where madness and paranoia, comes, to the top of the pile. But these people, they may be loners outside in society, normal society, but they can come together and work as a team because they're all like-minded and they all fit together, and they're extensively vetted, psychologically vetted, physically vetted. So these guys and gals fit the bill, and there's been bases down there for 100 years now. It's well, I was going to say well travelled. It isn't well travelled, but it's well been plotted and coursed, and bases are there and have been there for a long, long time, with no real incidents to speak of. The one last year, or was it maybe slightly the year before, I'm not too sure now, the guy that was whisked off because of a mysterious malady. Oh God. And now this. So part of me is thinking, really, this should happen all the time, and maybe it does, because no matter how much you've been stringently vetted, you're thrust into that environment, and you're eating together. You be on shifts and all that, and you've got certain roles, certain tasks to do, but you've got someone who clatters his knife and fork, but he does it every single time. For the first few weeks, you're not asked about that, but after a while, that's going to grate on your nerves. Certain people that have to sit in a certain chair, have to do a certain thing at a certain time. Things which you just go, you accept them initially, as we all do, but after a while, you can't stand it, and it's a little tiny thing, because it's built up over time. You are just gosh, Jesus. Even the way people speak. Now, I said before that it's a South African research team, but I don't think they're South African or predominantly South African. They'll be from all over the world, I would wager. I don't know for a fact, but I would say that. You call in experts from everywhere who apply and go through the vetting procedure, and we'll get out there. So you're going to have everybody. So it could be a language barrier, but I'm sure that'll be broken down. But for example, where I'm from, where I'm living right now, the Wirral Peninsula, you got Liverpool is just over there, just over your shoulder, just there. Well, it's right behind you, in fact, it's just behind you. And Scousers, they say every other word. I met me mate, went down the road, we found a pub, and we went in, had a few pints, you know what I mean? Like is said. Well, that to us is normal. That's just normal. And it actually does piss me off. I say it myself, sometimes, but nowhere near as much as a lot of people around here do. And I can imagine that would piss people off really badly, and you'd come to blows. So these people have to have a lot of patience and understanding, and be able to focus and switch off from all those around them and focus on the job, the task at hand. And then in their downtime, earphones in, they're reading a book, lock themselves into their little compartment, their cabin, however you call it. The documentary I saw showed how these things are connected, and you can go through them. Some aren't connected, and you've got to go out and go up steps and go into them another way. And you've got dormitories and all that. And I think people do sleep in the same dormitory, but probably at different times. And don't forget, you're going to have sundown completely for a length of time as well, no sunlight whatsoever. But it does strike me as strange that this sort of thing doesn't happen more often. You can stringently vet to your heart's content, but that's beforehand. Once someone's down there, something could happen. Now, by all accounts, the work administrator there made one slight alteration to the work schedule, and this particular individual, they reckon that's what sparked his violent transformation. So the rumours are that he threatened another member of staff, then assaulted them. All the rumours, again, South African authorities have said, oh no, there was no sexual assault. But that's not what I'm hearing today. I'm hearing that that was still the case. So, physical assault, possible sexual assault, and then threats of violence and death to the other members of the team, putting them all into a heightened state of paranoia, anxiety, and absolute fear and danger for their lives. Personally, I think, well, if one person's fucking kicking off like that, well, I'm gonna look. You know what I'm like. I'd probably be different in an environment where you've got people who there's a hierarchy and there's some kind of like system in place or should be in place. But if I see someone threatening another teammate for no apparent reason, well, I'm going to leap in and I'm going to do something. I would expect everybody else to subdue this person and lock him away. I would think that's quite normal. That apparently, from what I've heard, has not happened. This person has remained autonomous and had some kind of exerting authority and threat over everybody else. Well, that strikes me as really, really strange. The rest of them banded together and beating the shit out of this guy. Because, you can make up any story, couldn't you? The polar bear got him, He was dragged out, we didn't see him again. It's under the fucking ice, But the ice, like the sea, a little tip to anyone who's wanted to throw someone's body into the water or into the ice. Water throws back. Everything that you put in there, the sea throws back eventually, right? On what's ice? It's water, just very cold water. Ice will yield it. It's going to preserve the evidence. At least in the sea, the body will get nibbled and bitten and other things can happen to it. But in the ice, it's fucking preserved. So everything, all your fingerprints, they're still going to be there. Just a little tip off there. Anyone wanting to commit some kind of Arctic or Antarctic nefarious deed. But I find this uniquely strange. It's such a bizarre environment with so much mystery surrounding Antarctica. The prior, I don't know if he was the previous US Foreign Secretary, but he certainly was US Foreign Secretary for a while, John Kerry. He went to Antarctica several times, mostly on secretive missions to see US teams there, and was taken out and showed things. And you can look around, you'll find there's evidence of all this. And the photos which you'll find, you can quite clearly see have been airbrushed and doctored and obfuscated. That's what I was looking for. They're looking at something. They're standing on a sort of a range here in the foreground. There's John Kerry and his park and all that, and the team. And they're looking at what you see is just an area of nothing. But when you look closely, there's lots of areas where, well, that wasn't nothing there. They've blared it out. Massively blared it out. What are they looking at? What is it? And he's been there not once. The big one was a few years ago, which was highly publicised at the time. It was like a showboating mission. But he'd been there several times before as well. Now, you've got the pyramids. The pyramids in Antarctica. Well documented. They're there. Geophysicists found them. Aerial photography's found them. They mapped them out, the size and dimensions of these things. They're there. You're not telling me they haven't gone and investigated these things and we've just heard nothing about them. There's huge ice caves. There's holes in glaciers where, things have been said to have been exiting and entering at high speed. The Nazis, of course, had submarine bases there. There was research installations from Nazi times there as well. A lot has happened in Antarctica. And I'm just going blah, 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 with the whole thing. Blah, blah, blah. I've read about this and I've watched a lot of stuff about it. And there's a lot of bullshit out there as well. But I do believe there's a hell of a lot more going on down under than we are led to believe. And probably will ever be led to believe. John Kerry going down there, the sheer amount of foreign powers who want to stake a claim on a piece of Antarctica and find things out. They all know there's something there, and it isn't some vast mineral deposit. That, although there is that there as well, but water's the most fucking thing we're going to need most of all. You know, with climate change, don't you know? Let's not go down that rabbit hole. But let's get back to the main story. A guy goes loopy-loo. On the face of it, that ain't that strange. Anyone in an enclosed environment, after a while, is going to have issues, as I explained before. Even the smallest thing is going to tick them off to the point where they've put up with it. And they've probably put up with it subconsciously for quite some time without even realising it's pissing them off. And then suddenly someone clatters us, you know, they've just had their porridge and they've done that clap, clap, clap with the spoon afterwards and then slurped off the remnants from the spoon. They've turned it upside down and like that. And that suckage noise has played on someone's nerves and suddenly like, oh, that's it. Bam! Launch! Oh. Yeah. And I bet it does happen more often than they ever do say. But in today's world of social media and immediate news and people notifying other people, they put out, you know, an emergency call for assistance. And Kilty, have they assisted? No, they haven't. I've read differing accounts of how long it takes to get there. Their nearest, you know, I've got this written down here somewhere. The closest base to them is Norway's Troll Station? Actually, it's not my handwriting, it's my daughter's handwriting, which is better than mine, but I still can't read it. It's either Troll or Toll Station. Norwegian, it's got to be Troll, hasn't it? Just under 120 miles away, while South Africa's Senap Summer Station is about 140 miles away. The only way to leave the base now, their base, is through emergency medical evacuation to a German base around 186 miles away, according to two sources with inside knowledge who must have been there, as cited by South African media. The climate around Sane 4 is particularly harsh with a continuous permafrost, meaning the ground is permanently frozen. There is no snow-free period, so the station is surrounded by snow all year round. Right, so I read somewhere today that, and I think it was erroneous, that it's 15 hours to get there by plane. From where? It didn't say where from. So they clearly haven't sent a team in as yet. They haven't sent a team in to go and extract this guy and sort of close down the situation. But the latest that came out, well, today, the South African authorities, the ones who run it, say that the guy who's done all this has now apologised and calmed down. Apologised and calmed down. He's spoken to the person he attacked and said, sorry, didn't mean it. Oh, it just got to me. It's cold. It's white. There's too much white. Can't stand it. You know. He's apologised to everybody else, and he's going to apologise in writing as well. What? I don't know about you guys. Do you sense sort of like, oh, nothing to see here. Cover up, cover up. Let's brush this under the permafrost. Come on, come on, come on now. Everybody, shush. Nothing really happened here. It was just a flash, a frozen flash in a teacup. That's all it was. I ain't buying that, you know. You know, I just cannot believe any of this voodoo bullshit. No. No matter where you are, there's law. And the law, okay, Antarctica, I'm not sure what the law of that continent is, because it's not governed by anybody. But presumably every base You're on an American base, you're under American law. South African, you're under South African law. British base, British law, which means fuck all these days, to be honest. You know, pure two-tier stuff. So, you know, read into that whenever you fucking want. But German base, Polish base, Norwegian base, they're going to adhere to the law of their native country, or the ones who are running that particular research mission, expedition. So, but anyone, I would have thought, if someone's committing crimes, threatening to kill people, committing assaults, well, I'm afraid a lawman, you know, you'd have to, if it's a Canadian base, the fucking Mounties would be there, they'd be riding in the red surge, be riding all the way from Canada, right from the top of the world, right down to the bottom of the world, because the Mountie always gets his man. They'd be out there. So I've got a feeling the South African authorities really don't want anyone to know what the hell's going on, and they're annoyed by the fact that this got leaked out. You know, an emergency call got put through, and South African media then maybe inadvertently blurted it to the world, and now it became kind of sensationalized. Because again, like the previous case, this come up, and I've seen loads all mentioning the thing, paranoia strikes an Antarctic base. Someone is not who this, someone who's not who they're meant to be, you know, and everyone's at threat. Everyone's under threat. So they've all leapt on that. I know it's kind of obvious to do, but I don't know. Someone can't commit crimes like that and then it's just, oh, look, he's apologised now, it's all okay, it's fine. You're going to work with him again. The initial outcry was, we're under a threat of danger and death. He's threatened everybody. He's committed an assault. Again, the sexual assault is, they're saying, the authorities are saying, oh no, that isn't true, that didn't happen. But again, today, in another report I saw, which came out today, they affirm that. So I don't know. I'm just saying what's out there. So you can imagine the people in charge of this are none too happy. This is not the news we want to be broadcasting. So that, oh, it's all okay now. Oh, it's just a misunderstanding. Oh, it's all been overblown. Oh, cabin fever, and oh, they won't get away with it. But like the guy that was medevaced because of a mysterious illness, you're going to hear nothing more. I'll bet any money here, nothing more. You're not going to hear about some. They say it's under investigation. I've found a new thing here, right? Let's just see if there's any. Oh, this tells you about the environment. Okay, the research station is divided into 3 modules that house the kitchen, dining area, sleeping quarters, and a few leisure areas like a gym, library, and bar. One of the researchers stationed there, clad in a thick coat and woolly hat, recorded a video tour of the base. It shows a gym kitted out with dumbbells, a rowing machine, and a bike. Essential as outdoor exercise is all but impossible. And the thing is, outdoor exertion, going to and from a site, getting into a snowmobile, a snowcat, a skidoo, it's gonna tax you. Breathing could be very hard out there, so you've got to keep your stamina up and your fitness level up. There is even a braai out the back, the South African word for a barbecue, but the luxury ends there. All of the team's water comes from melting snow, a labour-intensive chore. The team takes turns with using the smelter, which they call the smelly. And there is a bare-bones kitchen where the team take turns to cook for the 9 inhabitants. 9 inhabitants. See, again, now this is different because in summertime there's up to 80 people staying there at this base. I don't think they've got their facts right here. 3 modules, there's more modules than that, I'm pretty certain of that. And I saw the kitchen. I watched that documentary, I saw the kitchen, and they had a fantastic, where was he was French, a French chef. He was a gourmet chef, you know, Michelin stars, the whole works. He did everything, and he said, I have everything I need is here. Okay, it's a bit more cramped than well, you go to any big restaurant, the kitchen's always going to be cramped because everyone's fucking running around. Yes, chef, no chef, you know, oh, fucking 3 bags full, chef. But it looked pretty good to me. So they're going like, what was it now? A bare bones kitchen. The station's design, while practical, is essentially a series of long corridors that link rooms, offering minimal space for privacy, like a submarine. Again, claustrophobia and people going, you know. It's not a place for comfort or socialising, but rather one for surviving and doing the work. And surviving is no easy feat. Staff live in close quarters with each team member's personal space limited to tiny rooms. The long, dark winter months stretch on endlessly. Overwintering at San A4 means months of constant darkness, with the sun dipping below the horizon and never rising again for months. This endless darkness has a profound impact on mental health, as crew members find themselves trapped in a well where day and night blare together. For the trapped team members, every waking hour is a reminder of their isolation. It's funny how a lot of them go back and do another tour, because they love it. They can thrive in that environment. They're not comfortable back home. That's what I said before. The crew members have no contact with the outside world beyond occasional satellite communications, and even then it's a lifeline that offers only the cold comfort of being able to report back to South Africa. No. They have means of communicating. If you're in a fucking emergency, you can communicate with other bases and with your home base, depending on atmospherics, but you will have access. They're making this out to be far nastier environment than it really is, I think. During the winter, when temperatures are unrelenting and the winds roar up, the winds can be 120 miles an hour. It doesn't say that, but I know that. Their communications with the outside world feel more like a cruel reminder that help is too far away to be of any use. Right. The constant threat of extreme weather, unpredictable storms and isolation has worn down many of the team. The psychological pressure gets real. Cabin fever sets in. With no chance for a break, no chance to leave for a weekend getaway, and no real personal times, tempers flare very easily. Arguments break out. Frustration boils over. Without outside stimulation, even small conflicts become magnified. The isolation turning petty disputes into serious rifts. And this goes, an email sent last week from one of the scientists trapped at San A4 describes how one of their colleagues had begun threatening others. According to the email, the accused had physically assaulted a fellow researcher and threatened to kill another. The email further details the growing atmosphere of fear within the base. I remain deeply concerned about my own safety, constantly wondering if I might become the next victim. This is McCready leaving this tape recording. We're all very tired now. Nobody trusts anybody. The team members' sense of insecurity isn't just about the threat to their life. It's the psychological toll of being trapped in a confined space with someone who has crossed the line. The threat of violence feels immediate and suffocating. As the crew waits with no easy escape, there's a sense of impending doom. Fucking hell, they're going to town on this, aren't they? A member of the team, once trusted to work in such an isolated and high-stakes environment, has now become the biggest threat to the others. The psychological stress is intense and gets worse by the inability to resolve the issue quickly. What should be a straightforward process of removing an unsafe individual is complicated by the station's remote location and harsh weather conditions, which could take weeks if not months to overcome. This was the thing about the guy that had to be medevaced out of the other Antarctic research base, Antarctican research base. It would take, in the end, I did videos on this, and they were saying it's going to take X amount of days to get there. In the end, they did it a lot quicker than they thought they were going to do, and they managed to get a helicopter in and get him airlifted to the ship to take him back. So it worked out a lot better than they anticipated. The desperate message continues. It is imperative that immediate action is taken to ensure my safety and the safety of all employees. But what can authorities in South Africa do when the nearest help is hours away by helicopter, apparently 15 hours away? And even the best laid plans could be thwarted by the fierce Antarctic winds. The country's Environment Minister, Dion George, has already said that there is no evidence of dangerous intentions in the accused actions, but given the situation's rapid escalation, that might not be enough. Oh, it ends there. That's one I just found before. There's plenty of others on this, which have come out today and in the last few days. San A4, perched high on the Vesles Kavaret Nutak in Queen Maud Land is as far from civilization as one can get. With no direct flight or access, it can take up to 15 days just to reach the base. Ah, not 15 hours, 15 days. So that makes a big fucking difference, doesn't it? 15 hours. Making any emergency rescue a monumental challenge. Do they not think about this? Do they not have strategic, positions dotted a bit closer where, look, you're in this ship. This particular rescue base can send a flight or a ship in that direction to our base or a Norwegian base or an American base or whatever. And they can act, for everybody. The thing about Antarctica is you are meant to help each other if you're in the shit. Because there's no one in charge. You're all there. Your little outpost is your country. They're all the country that's running the mission, the expedition. It's run by your particular country. But if someone else is in danger 120 miles away and you can get to them, you're gonna do it, aren't you? Of course you are. You're all stuck there just to relieve the fucking boredom. You're gonna go out and find some burnt out Norwegian camp, smouldering remains, some guys there, frozen, throat slit, and both wrists are slit. My God, what the hell happened here? Help me find a shovel, Doc, Hey, copper, come here. Well, guys, I'm looking at the picture now of the modules, and yeah, they're right. It looks like there is 3, maybe 4 modules. I thought it was a lot more, but they're very long, these modules, and obviously they're inside. It's all research labs and engineering rooms and dormitories, the gyms and the kitchen and all that, and the corridors link these all together. But they're built on these crisscross struts into the ice, and there's a huge sort of drop off as well right next to them. I saw a documentary on this in the last 12 months, and I found it fascinating because I thought, it looks amazing that. But it was summertime, so it was all bright, and some were out in just thermal t-shirts, but they were out in just short sleeves and like that sort of thing. And it was a woman who was the documentary sort of speaking person, you know what I mean, the presenter, and she got to know all these because she had to be there for quite some length of time to see them all settle into the job that they do and work out. And a lot of them, again, there's a language barrier, but they all seem to develop their own patois and they're able to communicate. So, I don't know. Would you go? But the tagline for this is Trapped Antarctic Crew. Scientists on the isolated San A4 research base have begged to be rescued after a member was accused of sexual assault and threatened to kill someone on the team. Well, as we now know, that threat escalated to it was going to kill everybody. You've got to get him out, haven't you? You've got to get this guy out. So folks, Antarctica, would you go? I'd go to visit. I'm not sure I could work there. Although I did look at jobs, but I thought I'm not. I have not got those completely frozen cojones to do that job for that amount of time. I've missed the pubs. I've missed doing these videos because you can bet your ass if they can't make a phone call, I wouldn't be able to upload videos to YouTube, would I? Bullshit. They've got some of the best fucking tech and uploading signals going. Because if they find something of really massive importance, and we know, or we can guess and surmise some of the things that they really are looking for. I'm talking around the geophys and geological and meteorological stuff, which, all that boring, yeah? No, you're looking for UFOs, you're looking for aliens, you're looking for civilization buried under the ice, you're looking for this, that and the other. Why would John Kerry be there? Why the fuck would John Kerry be there? US Foreign Secretary. Why would he be there? Not once, but several times. And have airbrushed, doctored photos put out to the public. Like the NASA pictures of the moon and Mars. Airbrushed, things are taken out, obfuscated. Why would they do that? Why would he go out there? What do they know? What do they think's out there? What do they know is out there? And what are they not telling us? And why are people going mad out there? I don't know. I don't know. I can go stir crazy just in this fucking kitchen. I can. It's dead easy. Just making beans on toast. The beans. They're simmering. The beans. They're simmering again. They're simmering. They're bubbling. They're burning. Ah! And then suddenly I get one of the members of staff and beat them with a fucking pan of beans. Bang! 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 Fucking beans flying everywhere. Oh God! And then I realise I'm doing your job. You're the kitchen staff. Why am I doing beans on toast when it's your job to do it for me? You see, I'm getting mad already. You see how easy it is? I'm just sitting here talking to you. You can lose your rag over nothing. So down there, that environment, uniquely strange, highly pressurised, volatile, no privacy. Oh, we all like our privacy. I could go on. Comment below, let me know what you think about this. I'm sure some more news will come out. Oh, he's fine now, he's great. It was nothing. He just lost a computer chess, that's all it was. And he attacked the computer chess game. That's all he did. It wasn't a member of staff at all, it wasn't another crew member. No, it's okay, everything's okay. Nothing to see here, please move along. Follow the penguins that way. To that fjord over there. You don't call them fjords down there, do you? They're fjords up north. Probably got that bit wrong. They're probably called smorgasbords down in Antarctica. I don't know. Right, I have been over Shelby Kilt-Man. Please, in the meantime, is it getting cold in here? Is it just me in between time? Please, keep it Celtic, keep it Celtic. And I'm going to see you all. If we've got any surprises for each other, I don't think we're in much shape to do anything about it. So what do we do? Why don't we just wait here for a while, see what happens? Oh dear. You need Mac, don't you? Mac and a flamethrower. The one thing they don't have in Antarctica is flamethrowers. Outpost 31. They've got about fucking 20, the bastards. Fucking unbelievable. You don't have flamethrowers. Why do you have flamethrowers? Well, they haven't melted on the ice. They don't use flamethrowers to melt the fucking ice. Idiots. They don't do it. But it's a military outpost. That's true. Outpost 31 is military run. They don't get that point across too well in the movie, I don't think. I've discussed this all before a million times, I know. But you know what I'm like, it's to go on and on and on. But it is a military run outpost. A lot of them are ex-military. Again, the film doesn't really make that too clear. But it is. So some people say, well, they've got flamethrowers because it's military. That's why they've got such an arsenal of weaponry as well. An arsenal of weaponry. Got a few Ithaca shotguns. They've got a couple of like Magnum revolvers. You know, they're not particularly well armed. These places have got hunting rifles and they have got assault weapons as well. Again, an assault weapon would be in case something big is coming at you. You're gonna fucking take it down. But flamethrowers, no, they don't. Right, I'm out of here, folks. So wrap up well, it's chilly out there, and try and keep cool. If someone's pissing you off, wait till no one else is looking there, fucking smack. And they say, what? Wasn't me, didn't do nothing. That pan of baked beans fell on his head several times. Must be a poltergeist. Right. But it's got a vibe to it, hasn't it? It's got a vibe to it. And you want to hear something else. But I can guarantee you, you're either going to hear nothing else about this, nothing at all, or it's just going to be like, oh no, it's all over now, everything's okay. The South African authorities are going to launch an investigation. You've got to go out there to investigate it. It takes you 15 fucking days to get there. He could have killed everybody in that time. God.